In this episode, this is the reason why your ass is weak.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Welcome everyone to episode 286 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular podcast in the realm, because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. Welcome to episode 286. Thank you for joining me live on Facebook every day at 12 noon Eastern Time. Thanks for watching on YouTube and listening in on SoundCloud and iTunes as the podcast. Got some great updates, and due to popular demand, some of you wanted some more rage tracks. You wanted some more motivational tracks. You wanted Papa Swole to go absolutely fucking Hambone Jones on the podcast so you can get some audio ampage before your workouts or get yourself out of fucking bed. And I just posted, and this is in large part to some high demand in my premium group, and this is actually something I was thinking about for a while, and there's going to be some other elements to this in the future, but there is a new playlist on iTunes and as well on SoundCloud. It's called Swolenormous Raw, and some of you remember my Raw series on YouTube. This is inspired, this is remastered, remixed, and these are going to be very, very short, probably 1 to 2 minutes in length of just absolutely me raging on different topics, but specific to just fucking do it. Like getting you, I'm not going to be talking about, work the biceps. I'm going to talk about work the chesticles. No, I'm going to talk, these are going to be motivational little quips. These are going to be little rants, little rages. When I'm inspired, I'm going to lay down some tracks. If I have other material, I'll remix it for you. That way you can go through a series of just things to amp yourself up. So if you haven't checked out the podcast there, it's blowing up. It's almost, it's got so many views in just a short period of time that it's been online. So obviously that's something that is really popular. So check that out. It's called Swolenormous Raw. Today's episode is 286, and there is a follow-up to today's episode. There is going to be some more hip mobility discussion, actually demonstration in premium afterwards. So as I told you already, premium is increasing in value and increasing in price. So those of you that want discounts on things like my program when it's released, for example, if you're looking for more program design, nutritional guidance, but the accountability and the community that goes along with fitness and goes along with physical training that you're missing in the gym. Because as you know, when you go to the gym, you're all by yourself. It's you versus you. It's you versus the paper. It's you versus your goals. With Swolenormous Premium, you get a group and you get an accountability group and you get that community, that team along with it. And one of the great things about Premium is they're going to be an addition of yoga workouts and yoga demos and stretching mobility and yoga mobility demonstrations, one of which is happening today, as well as live broadcast workouts from yours truly. So there's going to be a lot more material, even that is already there, that's added to premium. So just until probably the end of the week, got a few more slots open at the $4.99, and then the price is going to double. So make sure you jump in today. You can click the sign up button at the top of my Facebook page. That way, when we go through today's episode, you can always get into premium before that private broadcast begins. Of course, if you're a little bit late, you can watch the replay, but catch it live. That way you can interact and ask questions. Today's episode is going to build up to that later broadcast, and it's the reason why your ass is weak. The reason why your ass is weak. When I talk about your ass, I talk about your hips, I'm talking about your glutes, I'm talking about your mobility in the base of your core. Now, if you listen to your Shakira, and you should, Shakira knew a lot about the anatomy because she said the hips don't lie. And she was right. The hips don't fucking lie, Shakira. The hips don't lie. Shakira is the official artist of the Daily Swole because the hips don't lie. The hips absolutely don't lie. Your hips are very mobile. And we talked about earlier in this week that the hips have to be mobile. They also have to be very stable. So if you know someone that loves the booty, that either is an ass man or is an ass lady and likes to work the booty and does a lot of squats, does a lot of lunges, if you know someone that skips leg day, if you know someone that skips glute work, I want you to share this broadcast right now and float some thumbs. Let's do that too. Share the broadcast, but click the like button. Hit some thumbs up if you know someone that skips leg day. Float some thumbs and hit the share button because the Daily Swole needs to get to as many people as it can today. The Daily Swole needs to get it to as many people as it can today because, and the only way the Daily Swole grows, the only way that this continues for everyone is if you hit the share button. So if you spread the word, and I appreciate all of you great supporters, when you hit that share button, when you tag someone after the broadcast ends, when you let people know that Papa Swolio is fucking live and getting yoked like ain't no joke live on camera, if you let people know that they can watch a human being fucking get larger live on camera. I mean, this is just like a scientific, it'll blow people's minds when they see Papa Swolio fucking beard growing, hair growing, and biceps growing live on camera. I don't think there's any show out there, especially live, where you see someone actually in real time gaining fucking mass. I don't think so. So that's an anomaly in itself. So if that's not enough value already, I don't know what is. Call me crazy. Call me Papa Swolenormous. Obviously, the caffeine is really good today. That caffeine's really, really getting to the bloodstream like solid. I think that's pretty obvious. Literally, your glutes are weak. When I say the reason your ass is weak, I literally mean your glutes are weak. Now, don't confuse a big ass for a activated ass. What I mean by that is you need to activate the glute muscles. The reason why your hips are so flexible in the front is because you're designed to do deep squats. You're designed to sit down, but in a yogi squat position, feet flat, heels flat, get into a low squat, ass to grass. That's normal. That's how natives sit around a circle, around a campfire for hours telling stories and eating food. That's how people are supposed to go to the bathroom with less stress on the bowels. That's a natural resting position. But most of you cannot do that because your ankles are tight and your hips are very tight from sitting down in chairs. The strength of the glutes has to overcome the tightness of the front of the hip. The strength of the glutes has to overcome the tightness of the front of the hip. Now, the reason why you have so much flexibility in the front, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Flexibility and movement in the front is a good thing, but not at the expense of weaker glutes. Glutes are the king of the jungle, and with weak glutes comes lower back pain and knee pain and risk of lower back and knee injury. And one of the bigger or the larger concerns with the glutes not firing properly is the fact that it's the main muscle. It's the main muscle. Whenever you have pain in the lower back or risk of lower back injury, when you have pain in the knees and the risk of knee injury, it's because the glutes are not being the king of the jungle. When the glutes, and this is what I'm leading into, when the glutes are not the king of the jungle, when they're inhibited, when they're not firing, guess what muscle takes over? The hamstrings. And that's the reason why most people have very tight hamstrings and why many people pull their hamstrings over and over again, because the hamstrings are over lengthened. People feel tight, like, oh, my hamstrings are tight, when in reality, they're actually overstretched and over lengthened because of weak glutes. So you have many muscles that work together. They're called synergists, but you still have what's known as a prime mover, which is the main muscle that should perform an action. However, when the main muscle leaves, doesn't work, like when the CEO goes on vacation, the assistant takes over. The hamstring will take over, or the assistant in the business will take over. And a lot of times the business will go to shit in the meantime. So when the hamstrings take over and do the job that the glutes should be doing, you have a lot of problems. You have lower back pain, you have knee pain, and all slews of issues. The glutes compete. The glutes have to compete with cars. They have to compete with desks. They have to compete with sitting down for dinner. The glutes have to compete with chairs. And when you're sitting on your butt, it's kind of like shitty foam rolling. Think about that. When you're foam rolling, when you're doing your self-myofascial release, when you're on a foam roller, you're causing inhibition via pressure. You're causing pressure on the muscle. Now, what that's doing is creating a neural impulse that feeds back to the brain that tells the brain to relax the muscle tissue that the pressure is on. That's where the foam rolling sees its benefit. That's why you want to hold on a certain area and a sensitive area on the muscle for 30 seconds and above, 30 seconds to a minute. Not just roll back and forth really quickly. You want to hold it in one spot for about 30 seconds to a minute. That inhibition, that ischemic pressure cutting off blood flow, the neural response from that pressure from the foam roll, that is what causes the shutdown of the muscles that you're foam rolling. When you're sitting down in a chair, you're causing inhibition, but you're also causing tightness because you're smushing the muscle and all the connective tissue together, but in an improper position. When you're foam rolling the glutes properly, you're in a stretch position, you're getting deeper, you're mostly getting those deep external rotators like the piriformis, which usually get tight. But these muscles get tight from that sandwich effect from sitting down in a chair or sitting down in a car. So that lengthening, the glutes are lengthened when you're sitting. The glutes are inhibited when you're sitting. The glutes are inhibited when it's lengthening and with the pressure. So when you're sitting, you're getting inhibition from the length and inhibition from the pressure. So the glutes are usually shut down. And just because you might have a butt that looks big, that's usually a lot of fat on top of it. Unless you have striations in your glute and you see the muscle and the actual glute tissue, you have fat on top of it. That's normal. It's normal to have fat where you want to sit. It's a good place to store body fat because you need fat for storing minerals and nutrients and keeping organs warm and reproductive organs warm and insulation. But most people have a big ass, but they have a very weak and underactive and inhibited ass. And that's just a straight up fact. And that's what's still going to cause, and that's why it doesn't matter if you have a big butt, and people mistake a big butt for, oh, I have a good physique. No, oftentimes you have a big butt because your lower back is arching too much to compensate, your calves are too tight, your glutes are actually inhibited, your hip flexors are too tight, and then you're causing lower back pain and potential for injury, and knee pain and potential for injury. Not to mention other things, neck pain, ankle pain, and it's all one big cycle. So sitting is like shitty foam rolling. You need to activate the glutes. Activation of the muscle and mobility in the joint. Now, when I'm talking about the joint, yeah, the muscles are included, but I'm mostly talking about the ligaments, the tendon, which is the tissue. The tendon is the tissue that attaches the muscle to the bone, and also the fascial connective tissue that surrounds the joint, that surrounds every muscle fiber, that surrounds every muscle. So you have connective tissue. And the connective tissue is not the soft tissue, it's not the muscle. The connective tissue is the fascial tissue, it's the ligaments and the tendons. They get poor blood flow and they're very, very thick and stiff. So they need a lot of stretching, they need a lot of release, they need a lot of pressure, a lot of inhibition. They need to be molded like plastic. They need to be heated, they need to be warmed up, they need to be lengthened under pressure and under time. You need to stretch and perform yoga and mobility properly in order to lengthen the joint. So you need to strengthen the muscle, but create length and mobility in the joint. And one of the amazing things that live broadcasting and that video gives Swolenormous and gives me access to is to deliver these things to you. So in premium, after this broadcast, we're talking about strengthening your core. And that's right, Michael. The core starts with the glutes. The glutes are the base of the core. If you want a strong core, most of you think about the six pack. Well, that's not true. You're talking about the core of your core. You're looking at actually the glutes. The base of your hips is your core. And if you neutralize your glutes, you neutralize your pelvis, you'll actually have a flatter stomach and you put yourself in a better position to lean out, to be strengthened from the whole center part of your body and reduce your risk of injury, increase your potential for strength. So there are other things in there. There are other things in the hip besides what you see on the outside, besides the glutes. The tendons, ligaments, and the fascial tissue is what we have to get into for mobility, and the glutes are what we have to activate. So in premium, a little bit later today, Dominic, yoga expert, yoga expert, Dominic Swole is going to be going live in Swolenormous Premium to demonstrate mobility and yoga for the hips and break it down. And one of the great things about Swolenormous Premium is that it's not just display. This is doing it. We're not here to I do, you follow. We're here for education. We're here for, I'm here for inspiration, but it's proper inspiration. If you don't know, understand, or care to understand how your body works, if you're just, okay, yes, man, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, and just follow, you're not doing yourself any good. You're doing yourself a disservice. You need to learn. And a lot of people want to go to a trainer. A lot of people want to go to a gym and be like, oh, tell me what to do. Let me do that. Tell me what to do. Let me do that. They might get results, but in reality, they're not making themselves any better. You have to understand why you're doing these things, because then you'll do them more consistently. You'll create that discipline because you know why you're doing it. You have to understand how your body works. That way you can manipulate things and listen and learn yourself better. You have to know why these things are necessary and how your body functions. You need to understand these concepts. Otherwise, you are just flying blind and you're going to get fucked over either now, tomorrow, in a week, in a month, in a year with either injury or getting duped by people and trainers that don't know what they're talking about, information that's false. You need to be aware of what's real and what's wrong out there. So the more you can learn properly here, the better. So in Swolenormous Premium, a little bit later after the Daily Swole, Dominic's going to be demonstrating mobility and yoga mobility for the hips specifically with the breakdown. And what we always try to do in Premium, whether we're talking about some of these yoga postures we've been talking about on the beach, because we go into Premium Live every time, when I'm talking about corrective exercise, when I'm doing my workout, my full workout live demos in Premium, and I'm going to be doing one probably either tomorrow or this weekend, it's going to be instructional. I'm going to be working out, Dominic's doing yoga moves, but it's going to be educational, it's going to be interactive, and it's going to be explanatory from the ground up. So you're not just jumping into these advanced moves and these advanced exercises, it's explained. So this is the place to be. If you're working out by yourself, you don't have to. You need that community, you need that team, and you need the guidance. So now is the time. You still have a few minutes before that broadcast will go live, and you could sign up on my website, Swolenormous.com, or you can click right up here in the discussion area, right at the top of the Facebook page. There's a button that says sign up. You can click sign up and it'll take you right to the sign up page. It's $4.99. Like I said, there's probably 5 or 10 slots available still, but it's ending likely this week. This is going to fill up this week at $4.99, and then moving forward is going to be $9.99. So if you get in now, it will lock you in at $4.99, and it will not move at all for as long as you're in Premium. You'll get discount on any other programs that I create. You get all the accountability, nutritional guidance. You get all the videos and the exclusive playlist for members of Premium of all the videos on YouTube. You get the yoga mobility videos, the live workouts, and more. Okay, so Premium is a great place to be. The exclusive live broadcast, probably live in Premium about 3, 4, 5 times a week. So you get a lot of extra content, but it's explanatory. So it's all this information that might seem overwhelming at times, but more detailed, more specific, and more applicable to how you would take all this information and apply it right away in your lifestyle. So it's a great place. It's a great community. And I encourage everyone to jump on that deal today before it's gone, because it will be, I guarantee it. Thank you so much for joining me for episode 286 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular podcast in the realm, because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. Thanks for watching live on Facebook every day at 12 noon Eastern time, watching on the YouTube at Swolenormous, and listening to the podcast on SoundCloud and iTunes. Premium members, we will be seeing you in there shortly. Everyone else, peace out. Deuces magooses. See you tomorrow at 12 noon Eastern time. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday.